For years, there's been this one single rule in the world of SEO that pretty much everyone agreed on. But well, a huge shift in technology just turned that rule completely on its head. We're going to talk about the dedicated IP address and why something that used to be kind of irrelevant is now one of the most critical things you can have. Right, the old rule was simple. Having your own unique IP address for your website, it didn't really matter for your search rankings. And you know what? For a long, long time, that was absolutely true. But in this new era of search, that advice isn't just a little outdated, it might actually be what's holding you back. So before we jump into what's changed, let's just do a quick rewind and look at the old rulebook. I mean, for the last couple of decades, search has been dominated by one name, Google. And under its watch, the rules were pretty clear. And let's be super clear here, this wasn't some kind of myth. Google itself said that a shared IP address was perfectly fine. They were sophisticated enough to tell the good sites from the bad ones, even if they were living at the same digital address. I mean, thousands of huge brands built their empires on shared IPs without any problem. So if you believe this, you weren't wrong. But then, well, the whole landscape just shifted dramatically. New players came onto the scene, and they do not play by Google's old rules. We are talking about the rise of AI search, and it is fundamentally changing how visibility online is won and lost. So, meet the new gatekeepers. You've got ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, Copilot. These aren't just little tools anymore. They are becoming the deciders. Getting found online isn't just about ranking on a Google page now. It's about being trusted by these AI models, which are quickly becoming the first stop for answers for millions of people. And this right here, this is the fundamental difference. You see, traditional search gives you a list of links. It's a menu of options, and you get to choose. But AI search, it gives you a single synthesized answer. It doesn't just rank web pages. It evaluates entire websites and chooses which ones to trust and cite. This is a massive distinction. We've moved from an economy of ranking to an economy of pure reputation. Okay, so this brings us right to the heart of the problem for anyone on a shared IP address. In this new world of trust-based AI search, who you're associated with online matters more than ever before. It is time we talked about your digital neighbors. Just think of a shared IP like an apartment building. You could be the perfect tenant, right? Quiet, you pay your rent on time, but if your neighbors are constantly causing trouble, the landlord, and in this case the AI crawler is the landlord, might start looking at the entire building with suspicion. If your IP address gets associated with spam or bad performance from some other site, your own reputation gets dragged down right along with it. And this is where the new rules can really sting. While Google eventually learned to kind of ignore those noisy neighbors, these new AI systems are building their trust models completely from scratch. And they are way more cautious. If they see an IP address that looks even a little bit sketchy, they are much more likely to just deprioritize everything on it. They'll crawl it less and they'll trust it less. Put simply, they are just far less forgiving. The end result is pretty simple to see. When you're on a shared IP, your trust score is unpredictable. It's vulnerable to things totally outside of your control. But with a dedicated IP, you have a direct, clean, stable line to building a really high trust score with these AI models. You take that whole bad neighbor variable right off the table. So, if a shared IP is a risk, what's the solution? Well, it all comes down to taking back control of your site's reputation. And that has to start with owning your own digital address. It's really that simple. With a dedicated IP, your history is your history. No neighbors. Every single signal the AI crawler gets from that address, your fast response times, your consistent uptime, your quality content, it all gets tied directly and only to you. You are in complete control of your digital reputation. And this creates this incredibly powerful feedback loop. You could call it the AI citation compounding effect. It all starts with that clean IP signal that leads the AI bots to give you a higher crawl priority. That extra attention then helps you build a higher trust score over time. And that trust translates directly into more opportunities to be cited in AI answers. It's this amazing virtuous cycle where trust just keeps building on itself. Now, a dedicated IP is absolutely the foundation, but it's not the whole story. To really truly optimize for this massive shift, there are a few other critical pieces you need to put in place to build on top of that strong foundation. There are really 4 keys to this. First, a dedicated IP address. That's just non-negotiable now for building trust. Second, a brand new file called llms.txt to help guide the AI crawlers. Third, using schema markup to make sure your content is perfectly machine readable. And fourth, keeping your content fresh, because AI models have a really strong bias towards recently updated information. And you're probably asking, what on earth is an llms.txt file? It's a new standard, and honestly, the easiest way to get it is to think of it like a robots.txt file, but it's built specifically for large language models. It is your chance to directly tell AIs like ChatGPT what your site is all about and to point them to your most important cornerstone content. So the takeaway here is really clear. That old debate about whether dedicated IPs matter, it's officially over. In the age of AI search, the thing that used to be a nice-to-have has now become an absolutely essential tool for building trust and getting a serious competitive edge. Look, as AI continues to completely reshape how we find information, the question isn't if things are changing, it's about how quickly you can adapt. So the real question you've got to ask yourself is this: is your website truly ready for the AI search era?